As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl.
All right, we are here for another episode of Lead Like a Girl. I am Coraline, and I am here with my two best friends, Jamie and Jessica, and we have another +1 today. Mary, how are you?
Good. So happy to be here.
I know. So do we need to address the elephant in the room, not by joke or anything, but so we have to say, where are you from, Mary? Because that's just before everyone can focus and move past.
Exactly. It's the accent, right?
Right.
So I'm from Sydney, Australia, all the way down under.
Awesome. Well, so we are at Lead Like a Girl. So this is the podcast where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. It's all the good, the bad, and the funny. And I am really excited to kick off this. We are in episode 2 of a 3-part series, and we just decided we need to kick off our new year with a bang. And so last week's episode is all about financial planning. Next week's episode is going to be life coaching. We have a fantastic entrepreneur where she has started several businesses and she's a life coach now, and she's going to talk to us all things life planning. But today is all about health and fitness. And Mary, Jessica and I have had a little bit of a history with you. I have actually used your program personally, and I absolutely loved it.
Coraline, can I tell my story of how this all started?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first time I've ever done this, by the way, totally creeped out on Instagram, I believe it was, and reached out to Mary. It was a desperate time. I'm like, I got to do something. I got to get back on track. And I swear, I don't know what time it was, but this woman called me. I think she was in her bonnet. And it was legit, maybe even 1:00 in the morning, called me on Instagram and was like, hi, I can't do the accent, but it was just like a dream come true for me. And that's it. It's history from there. She helped me. She brought me back to life. And then I shared it with my friends. Jamie, I think Jamie is, out of the three of us, probably the most fit. She climbs mountains. She runs 30 miles a day, that kind of stuff. So Coraline was like, sign me up. So then I kind of shared Mary with Coraline and we went on this journey. So that's kind of the long story short of it. But yes, I just remember this woman that did not even know me. And I reached out. I was like, is this thing real? And next thing you know, she was on camera in her bonnet. Yeah, talking to me. So was that your question, Jamie? That's how this started.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. That was my question.
Anyway, go ahead, Cora. I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome. No, it is. It was I like to think that things are by accident or coincidental, but we all know that there is a hand over all of this and everything is purposeful and it has intention behind it. And so I'm so happy we got connected. So We're going to jump into your story, Mary. But first, everyone, I might be a nerd at this, but I love starting off with my little first minute fast question to put everyone on the spot. And since we're talking health and fitness today, my question today is, what is the strangest fitness or health trend that you tried to lose weight fast, get in shape quick, thought this was going to be whatever you bought was the savior of all things?
Yeah.
What is the thing you tried?
I tried to have cabbage soup 24 hours a day for 5 days straight.
Yeah.
And I think it was some sort of I think it was burpees. So burpees and cabbage soup. And I tell you guys, it did not last for very long.
Are you saying like push up, stand up quick?
Yeah, push up.
Yeah.
It was do 100 burpees a day and drink as much cabbage, eat as much of it as you can.
That's what I did wrong with the cabbage soup. I did not do the burpees. Damn it.
I'm like, is it burping? Like cabbage soup?
Exactly.
Well, doesn't doesn't that give you gas? Like, I feel like, I don't know if that does that me, but isn't like that the thing?
No,
like
it cleans you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It cleans you out. But you know what? Those silly ideas, they just, the weight dropped off, but then it was just on the next week. So not sustainable.
Not
For
fun.
sure.
Super crazy.
No.
Jamie,
I
Jessica,
have
what do you got?
two.
Yeah.
I have two actually. So one it's called the military diet. So it's like 3 days, and I think I want to say maybe there's a total of 500 calories a day. It's like you get like an apple and a piece of cheese for breakfast, and then like lunch is a piece of toast with some tuna, and dinner is like like nothing. It's like
100 push-ups is dinner.
It's you just do sit-ups until you're not hungry. It's like you do it for like 3 days, and it's supposed to be something for people to lose, whatever they need to lose for the military. So, and it was terrible. I was hungry the whole time. I was so crabby. But my other stories was myself, but I had to laugh. It was a girl that we worked with at the company, and I remember her coming to me at work one day and seriously telling me that she was going to order a tapeworm and swallow it so that she
Yes.
No.
Yes, I remember that. I know that girl. Yes, I know.
Do not name any names,
like,
Cor.
No. But she was going to actually put a tapeworm in her body. So she's like, it'll be great. It'll just
eat my food. Like, and she was legit serious.
She was serious.
That's crazy.
I was like, do not do that.
Well, I did the cabbage soup thing, and I've done, oh my God, I've done them all. Tilapia and asparagus for like a whole week. Yeah, exactly. And, same thing. So just crazy. But I think I've officially done all of anything that you could name. I've done it over the years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was going to add to that. So I've definitely done the cabbage soup thing. That was like a high school thing, which is like this. So this is my love-hate relationship with health and fitness runs deep. Like I was like a chubby kid as growing up. So this has been a part of my story forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the one that I hated probably the most was the juice diet. So I had bought a juicer off of an infomercial thinking that would be fantastic. But I don't know if I just didn't get the recipes down, but I like all the acidity and the citrus, just I got canker sores in my mouth like almost instantly. And so it was crazy painful. And I just thought, this is insane. Like, and it wasn't very helpful at all.
No.
I'm definitely like a grazer or an eater. Like I like drinking my diet is not my jam at all.
Yeah.
So okay, so those are all the crazy things. We got it out of our system. And so we are here for all the truth. And so I want to introduce you, Mary, because I actually know you as Strong Coach Mary. My husband and my son know you as Strong Coach Mary, which
They've
I
seen
love.
me in the living room, I'm sure.
Yeah, my son has done your workouts with me, but you are a health and fitness
yay.
expert, and you are dedicated to empowering women. So you are one of the visionaries behind this pair of duo behind Aviana, which is a website and an online platform, just really helping women to change their approach to 5 critical areas. So you focus on your website on activity, attitude, food, breath, and sleep. So I hope we're going to dive into all those things. And really, you kind of touch on like this challenge we have as we get older, as older women. It just gets harder and harder to make all those things happen. And so I don't want to steal too much of your thunder, but Mary, were you, for our listeners, just give us a backstory, because how you came where you started and where you're at now. This story is just fantastic. And I just love to hear it. Yeah.
So thank you guys. What an intro. Well, I'm an engineer. So I'm 51. I'm an engineer by trade, and, I was immersed in the engineering world for my whole 20s. Of course, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. So, it's just something it's genetic. My dad is the same. So that's kind of always been inbuilt and quite ambitious. So I think I was my first. So I've got three daughters, 20, 18, and 13. So
3 beautiful daughters.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, 3 daughters. And so I just started being a mum, so I was juggling work, being a mum, child 1, child 2, and I was quite fit. So I used to dance as a teenager. So, I was always fit and quite, strong, but, priority, you just fall off the ladder of priority. you know, the more you're doing, the more you get immersed in your family. I know everyone understands what I'm saying. So
Yes.
there's less time for you. And, you know, I had the loss of my mum, just so many personal like adversity happened in my life around my 30s, late 30s. And by about 41, guys, I was totally unrecognizable. So I gained, I think I would, do you talk kilos or pounds?
Pounds.
We speak in pounds.
Like, I don't know. I think it's 200 and something pounds. So like really heavy. I'd lost my physical self. I couldn't sleep. I was starting to feel really anxious and I didn't know why. Plus I had the 3 girls. I was trying to run a business. It was just honestly the worst time of my life. And something was different about my body. I couldn't quite place it. So, you know, was it my hormones? I kept going to the doctor and saying, you know, can you help me? It's not like me to be anxious. It's not like me to not be able to sleep. Of course, I had abandoned my health, right? And I was just eating and indulging and all that guilt and the shame of the diet cycle. I was in that 24/7.
Yeah.
But so one day it was like rock bottom and every doctor just said, there's something wrong psychologically. You need a counsellor. So I went from counsellor to counsellor to then a psychologist to then a psychiatrist who gave me a very heavy prescription of antidepressants. So, and I look back and I'm just, you know, I know it's so common that.
I was just going to say common story.
So common story. No one's checking my hormones, but I have this absolute crisis day where I cannot get out of bed. I just don't want to live. Like it is, I don't know what a nervous breakdown is, but I feel like that was the crisis. And by that point, I couldn't leave the house. I was so anxious that I couldn't leave. Like I just couldn't be in my own body. So I'm lying there in bed and there it is, this powerful visualization. And I see Mary, like she's there. I can see her hair. I can see what she's wearing. I can see a happy Mary, a strong Mary. I can see what shoes she's wearing. It was so powerful, guys. And with that, I got out of bed. I willed myself out of bed. And it was just this thing of, I want to be her. This is who, it wasn't the old Mary. It was this new person that I just thought, I'm making a decision today. I'm going to love myself today. I'm going to work towards being her. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And I woke up, I wrote the date down. I'll never forget it. I broke in, like, I think it was the 15th of December, 2015. Broke down and then ferociously, like a tiger, just went into some new mode. And at the same time, someone was saying to me, Mary, it was my cousin, you know, you're blah, 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 you've reached this, you know, extreme, the heaviness, you know, the weight. Try weightlifting. And I was like, weightlifting? Are you serious? Like CrossFit, try it. And I'm going, those people are mad. Like, you're jumping upside down and they're on, you know, raising barbells above their heads. But, you know, it just is the world. Like, Caroline, you nailed it. Like, I saw a flag in my local, in Balmain in Sydney. I saw like a CrossFit flag and I was like, I'm going to stop. And sure enough, pulled over, there it was, CrossFit, weightlifting, this world that I was like, okay, I'm just going to step in. I'm going to walk through the door. And I have to say, I walked in there wanting to lose weight. Everyone, and I think a lot of women think if you lose weight, the happiness will come. So the number on the scale, the size of your jeans, like if I can only achieve that, then I'll be happy.
Such a trap.
Yeah.
Such a trap. But what happened, and I say this phrase stuck with me, I wanted to be skinny and then I ended up being strong. So I walked into this place.
Yeah.
Right? So I went for skinny and I just accidentally became strong. And I walked in and just physically, like I walked in one day, you know, and just raised a bar, like deadlift, like I did an incredible deadlift on day one. And everyone was like, who the hell is this? And I was like, oh, is that good? But that was one parallel kind of in my life. The other parallel was no one had checked my hormones. And this perimenopause word was being thrown around. And this was 10 years ago, guys. So think about, like, menopause it was a taboo in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know about America now, but
Same.
my mum never talked about it. My mum never talked about peri. My mum, I do remember when I was about 15, she had like the pill, like in the bathroom. Now I think about it, it was her HRT. And she's not here to tell me about it. But so it was this kind of feeling of, what is this? What is peri? And I threw myself into wellness. So much to the horror of my family, I picked up my engineering degree and I put it in the bin. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw myself into wellness. And by that point, in 1 year, Jamie, because I know the girls know about this, but in 1 year, I lost sort of, 60 pounds, 70 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
And I became one of Australia's strongest women at the age of 42, right? Mm-hmm. So this was no longer like a skinny, a weight loss story. It became a story of a woman, an everyday woman who, 3 kids. I'm not superwoman. I'm not an athlete, but I became a strong-willed, and it was the resilience I built internally that was really the start and what created the next part of my life. So part 2, Mary, part 2.
I love it.
I already have 1,000 questions.
Right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. So it was this. So I became a CrossFit instructor. I surrounded myself with healthy people. Like, everything changed. I then locked myself into a room and said, right, what does wellness mean for me? And for me, it was those 5 pillars. So how are you moving? What are you eating? Are you sleeping? Are you breathing? And mindset. Is it strong? Mm-hmm. So that was the kind of beginning of what was then called Strong Formula, and now called Aviana, and it's now an app, and it's helping thousands of women around the world. It's those 5 pillars, when we layer them, for me, it was what made me well.
I love it.
So that whole journey led to, and now I'm completely immersed, and I'm working with the most incredible, it was all this manifestation. I believe in it. I believe in what you manifest, and, setting a path to work towards something. And the universe, Caroline, you said it. Now I'm working with Australia's menopause icon. Her name's Alison Dado. And I had a poster of her on my wall when I was 16. So she was a famous Australian model, and she wrote a book, and we connected, and now we're business partners. And that's where Aviana, so you know the gap, because I don't think you know that bit.
Right.
Why I went from Strong Formula to Aviana.
Yeah.
It's because I connected and, locked in an incredible partnership with Alison Dado. So we rebranded, and now it's completely immersed in peri and menopause and helping women through that time.
Wow, that's amazing. I was going to ask, because I've been completely in my own little bubble here for probably the last couple of years. That's how long it's been. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
from when we started speaking. But when you think about, and it's kind of timely, because I was just in Chicago and talking to some family, and then a good friend of mine, and all weekend it was the same theme. And maybe it's just because that's the age that we're at now, where one of my friends is just like, she's always been smaller and fit, and she's like, I don't know what the hell is going on. She's like, I can't sleep, doesn't matter what I eat, I'm gaining weight. And she just went on and on. I was like, menopause? And she's like, no, I'm too young for that. She's my age. So she's, how old am I? 45, 46. And she's like, she was confused. So I'm leading into, there's so many people that they just don't know. They're wondering what in the world is going on. So the first question I have is for our listeners, what are some things to look for, and at what age? I mean, where does the little light bulb need to go off and them say this might be what's going on right now? Otherwise, we feel like we're going crazy, seriously. And for those of us that are a little bit crazy anyway, it's like, okay, now my crazy is going to a whole nother level.
And look, menopause starts, or peri is the period that leads up to menopause, which is a day, 1 day. So if you haven't had your period or menstruated for 12 months, that is menopause, bang. And after that day is postmenopause, and the period leading up to that 1 day is called perimenopause.
Got it.
And that can last for 10 years. It can last for 5 years. It's so personal. But,
10 years? What the
10 years,
heck?
right?
I know.
And you see women after 35. Some women are going into peri at 35 and starting to feel a shift in their hormones, or, the sleep starts getting affected. You're mental health is affected because your estrogen is diving slowly, or it's going like this, and all your hormones are just like wreaking havoc inside your body. So it's only normal that you're going to start to have symptoms like that. So things to look out for: mood. Right? If you start to feel like a real shift in your mood, in your sleep, guys, if you start to feel like, why am I not sleeping? If your midline is changing, that's a thing, like menobelly. It's a real, like, the visceral fat starts to, like, aggregate, like, just load up around the midline. And bone loss. There's lots of things, like an achy body, a sore body, sore joints.
When you haven't even worked out.
Yeah. And it's the estrogen, it's the progesterone, it's all your hormones, going up and down and fluctuating. So they're the main things to look out for.
I just feel like, so I'm 48, and I feel, we've had a couple of episodes where we've talked about things like anxiety. So we're trying to juggle our professional life. We're trying to juggle our family. We're trying to juggle our health, in terms of let's exercise, let's get that physical health, let's try to eat right. There are so many things on our plate. And then I feel like you jump on something like social media, and personally, I'm bombarded with, I feel like every other ad I look at is either a weight loss pill, or it's take a shot in your belly, or whatever it is, or I see tons of ads for perimenopause, and just in it, all of it is take this pill and you'll be better. What are your feelings on all of that, and just that constant communication that it'll all be fixed with this pill?
Look, HRT, and look, it's so broad. Everyone's journey is different. I haven't had HRT. I have a Mirena.
Can you explain for us dummies in the back row what's HRT?
Okay, hormone replacement treatment. So you're replacing the hormones effectively that you're losing as part of the perimenopause journey. So some women are bedridden. I have clients that cannot get out of bed, right? I have clients that are breezing through peri into menopause. I personally hit rock bottom. I decided to do this. When I say naturally, I just haven't had to reach out to HRT yet, but that's not to say that might change tomorrow. So I want women to know they've got, what tools do they have in their belt, that, it's okay to have, there are multivitamins that help some women. This same multivitamin doesn't help another woman. So there's no one magic bullet. There's no one supplement. Different things work for different women, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just knowing, and the purpose of Aviana is knowing what is in that tool belt, what options do I have? Do I need magnesium for my sore muscles? Is it a blog about HRT? Is it a blog about menopause? Is it HRT? Is it talking to a doctor? But having a doctor is so important. Is there a shortage in the US? I mean, in Australia, it's so hard to get an experienced doctor. Do you guys have like doctors around that support you in that space of women's health?
That's a great question. There could be, and I have no idea, because it's not an area that I've even, went down yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think there are.
I haven't looked,
but I think that you have to, I think a lot of times people, like for me, I don't, probably like Jessica, maybe I just don't go to the doctor very often. So I've always been of this mindset, like, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. I'll get over it.
This too shall pass.
Too shall pass.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I think this could be different, right? Because it's, by the sounds of it, maybe it's not going to pass.
Yeah, and,
Dang it.
and women feel unsupported even when they're going to their local doctor, general practitioner. I think in Australia they're given 1 hour, one couple of hours of training in menopause and perimenopause. So even our doctors are underqualified here when it comes to peri and menopause. So to find a good doctor that understands your journey is really important. Even if and they're not always going to prescribe you HRT. They're not always going to, but to have that option if you need it. And there's been a whole, it's been fraught with, I don't know, like negativity, because there was a study done and it was linked to cancer. So, we're trying to break through that. And, it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you've got cancer in your family, then, doctors say that you shouldn't go on HRT. So, knowing you've got options, Jamie, to answer your question, there is no magic pill, but there might be for someone. It could be a multivitamin that helps them, that, it's changing their life. So I think what's important is to know what options you have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So what's step one?
Step one?
So when someone feels like, I feel like these things are happening right now, is your suggestion that they go on the journey to find a good doctor, and then where does your community come in their journey?
Yep. So I like to say that you need to have a baseline that's healthy. So your lifestyle, you need to, because you can change, you can help those symptoms by just changing your lifestyle. Not everyone can, but getting that baseline right. If you know what to eat through peri, if you know how to move through peri, if you know how to sleep, like just sleep hygiene, a dark room, a cold room, if you know, and that's what the program, this is what Aviana does, right? It's focused on, a 6-week program. It's all layered through the pillars that helps you just get your baseline right.
Got it.
So it helps you with your HRT. If you decide to go down the path of HRT, if you need it, then a doctor will say to you, well, how are you eating? How are you moving? Because what we don't want women to do, and look, I'm an ambassador for fitness. So, Jamie, I want you to go for a hike for 2 hours. But what I want you to do is resistance training, right? I want you to weight lift because of the impact it has on muscles, on your metabolism, on bone loss, your bone health going into like your 50s and 60s. It is like this, right? Your bones, most women will fall and break a hip, and that's the end of their life, right? So we want to avoid that. We want to avoid that. We want muscle to protect our bones. We want muscle because it is metabolic gold, right? So I'm sitting here with all my muscles and I'm burning twice as much energy as someone who doesn't have muscle.
Yeah.
And it's really, really important. So I want you to hike and I want you to play tennis, but I want you 3 times a week to pick up some weights and push and pull and hinge and lift and press, because we want to be physically independent too, right? We want the bikini body, I get it, but it's all about physical independence as we get older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think one of the things that I loved about when I was doing your program, Mary, is that you take the system and you threw out the word CrossFit, which I feel like sometimes people are like CrossFit sounds really intimidating. But what I loved is that you made it super easy. If you can't lift weights, then do soup cans. If you can't do a bar, do a broom. So can you talk to a little bit about like if people that feel completely intimidated by the word CrossFit, but weightlifting, there is a place for everyone to start, and talk a little bit about that?
There is. And that's the beauty of the Aviana program. And I did that because you can be fit, but you may never have weightlifted in your life or done any form of resistance training. You might be a tennis player or a runner. So there has to be a place where women feel like they can come, grab, like you said, 2 cans of soup, and you're starting with like 500 grams each, right? And I started with 2 kilo weights. So 2 kilos in this hand and 2 kilos in this hand. And I'm telling you now, I'm up to like 20 kilos each hand. So you've got to start somewhere. The movements are pretty similar across the board. So you want to learn how to press, you want to learn how to squat, you want to learn how to hinge, and you can do that with 2 cans of soup, right? You've got to learn the movements. You've got to start with a basic beginners program. And what I see and what I'm like, I see women just try and watch YouTube. Lots of women in my group. We've got this massive Facebook group now, guys. You're in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, love it.
And, a woman will say, just get onto YouTube and watch XYZ. Well, there's real thought behind the Aviana program because we're working on different body parts every day, and we're progressively like pushing and overloading our muscles. So there's a science behind it. I don't want women to just grab 2 10-kilo weights, push them above their head and like rip their rotator cuff. I don't want that. You've got to start slow. So, Caroline, yes, there is a place, and it can be your local gym. I'm not saying Aviana's, gosh, this is for women who don't like gyms or are busy. They've got their app at home and they can do a 35-minute workout in their living room. And Jess,
oh, perfect.
I know exactly where you were doing the workouts. I saw it for myself in your
bathroom.
I've come a long way since then, but this has definitely been a reset, Mary. I haven't lifted a weight in I don't know how long. I've been focused on food, and now I think I really have the relationship with food that I have been trying. I finally got to my goal weight. 25 years I've been chasing a goal weight, and now it's not about that number anymore. Now I need to focus on how I feel and my mental health and getting back and picking up, like you said, picking up weights, because I can feel I've lost muscle. I've just lost weight with no strength training, and I know better than that. So this has been a wake-up call for me that I think I'm going to come back home.
Yeah. And look, to be honest, guys, I'll talk about not just the fitness element, but the resilience, the mental toughness, all of those beautiful things that happen here in your brain, in your heart. So when you've got a body that serves you, like, holy crap, I'm walking around in this body that feels like I feel stronger or better than my 30-year-old self. What does that bring me? It brings me fulfillment. It brings me safety, a sense of like toughness. Like I feel like Superwoman. I do. To know that I can lift 70 kilos over my head, like, come at me.
Right?
It's like, I feel fearless. I feel it's like it's a different feeling. Like I remember when I hit my goal weight, like you, Jess, there's a whole achievement in like feeling, agile. Like you must feel so agile and so like light on your feet and fitting into those jeans, those feelings. But, when you're strong, mate, it is an incredible feeling. And what that does, that the mental toughness that I've built, the resilience that I've built just through training, through all of it, it builds this really solid front lobe. Like I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But you feel fearless,
Absolutely.
and I take what I've learned and the dark place that I go to every day in those workouts, and I apply it into my everyday life. And I tell you, it changes you. It really changes you. Like I feel more resilient. And I feel like the toughness, the mental toughness that I've built, I'm completely, I can like consistently perform like under pressure and under stress. That is what I do. And it's not to say that I don't feel tired and I don't feel, fearful, and I don't feel like, of course I lose confidence here and there.
Yeah.
But it's that grit in here. And that's been the other beauty of what my journey has allowed me to explore.
Well, I hope people actually watch this episode on YouTube, because when I look at your face, you just look like a healthy, vibrant, glowing, happy woman. I mean, you can see it in your face, and when you're talking about your app and when you're talking about your journey, you can see it, that you truly are telling your story and that you feel exactly what you were describing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jamie. I really do. I love the passion. I think it shows, and I think it takes only a few minutes of when you talk to me to see it, that I love what I do. I love that I'm helping women. I love seeing women thrive and knowing they've got all their options. That's what I want. That's what Aviana wants. Aviana means strong and powerful woman in Sanskrit.
Right? I was just going to ask that question. Yeah. Tell me, I want to know the name of, so thank you. You literally just read my mind. And listen, we have gone way, way over, and that is so okay, because maybe I'm a little biased, but this has been the most exciting episode yet for me. And I just want to know let our listeners know if they're looking for a community. This episode was like, oh my God, they are speaking to me. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I needed today. And the message really resonated with them. How can they find you? How can they be part of this? How can you help them?
Absolutely. So join the Aviana community. Firstly, we have an incredible Facebook group where women share, and women just want to be heard sometimes. So if you just want to be telling your story, knowing your sisters are there, please come and join our Facebook group. It's called, and we'll include it, I guess, in this episode when we're done, but it's Menopause Support and Wellness for Strong Women. So there's already 11,000 women in there all around the world. But you can also come to our website. So it's Aviana with a I.com, and you'll find everything you need there, from resources, articles written by experts, and of course, join the app, join the program. I want to see you there, and we can work through those pillars together in a community, because you will be in a community the minute you register. And of course, Insta, you get to see me. I don't know, I was doing some crazy things the other day with my co-founder. You probably see us goofing around in the living room and just having fun, because it's such a hard time. Like, let's try and make this fun, guys.
Yeah,
add a bit of comedy, a bit of humor.
Mary, are you on TikTok? Has your girls told you that that's like the new place I'm told where everybody is? Are you TikToking?
Do you know what? I'm not, but we do have a TikTok. Everything that gets posted to TikTok, and something went viral the other day. I don't even know how to get in to TikTok. And the girls are like, Mum, here it is. But one of our posts went viral, and so I'm on TikTok, but don't ask me, it's called Aviana Official, right? But
no, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I'm on it and not on it too, so.
Exactly.
Well, that's awesome. Mary, as we wrap up, I got something real quick for you. This is going to be fun. I pulled out a little this or that out of my hat, and we're just going to rapid fire and just learn a little bit about Strong Coach Mary. Okay. So tell me, are you a morning workout or an evening workout?
Evening.
Are you avocado toast or smoothie?
Avo toast.
Nice. Would you put meat on yours, or you just eat it raw, or you just do regular?
Eggs.
Awesome. Hot flashes or cold sweats?
Cold sweats.
That's the worst. Are you doing protein shakes or green juice?
Protein.
Okay. Your rest day, Netflix binge or nature hike?
Netflix.
Nice.
Housewives.
What are they?
Housewives in New Jersey.
Is that what you're watching? Housewives? That's your garbage.
Beverly Hills at the moment. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love it. Okay, I got just a couple more. Intermittent fasting or small meals throughout the day?
Small meals throughout the day.
Are you an ice bath or a sauna session?
Sauna.
I just got a sauna, aka my husband did, and I didn't want it, and now I'm totally in. I'm 100%.
You didn't tell us.
Sorry, I got a sauna.
And Jamie knew. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, fitness tracker or old school notebook?
Notebook.
Are you a writer down?
Yes.
All right. Last question. What's your post-workout treat? Are you going chocolate or peanut butter? Or chocolate or salty? Are you sweet or salty?
Yeah.
Cravings?
Okay. So I'm salty. Always salty. Bread.
Awesome.
Bread with butter. Bread and butter.
Bread and butter. That's awesome. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. You can't turn down a good piece of bread. That's awesome. I just have to say, my takeaway from this conversation, Mary, is that constantly having that reminder. One is that you are never too old to start. I think that the system that you've outlined, where you just start small, start where you're at, and just go for it, because you can never. You're never going to be sad about working on yourself and putting the effort in to work on you. I feel like that is my primary takeaway. Jamie, Jessica, what do you got?
Well, my takeaway is I'm pressing the restart button, Mary. I just need you to write me a prescription of my first 3 steps, and that's it. That's what I'm doing.
Consider it done.
Yeah. I've been praying New Year's is 2 weeks ago, and I still don't have a freaking plan. What am I doing here? Here it is.
There we go.
Thank you.
Here it is.
Aviana.com, Jess. You got it. There's your 3 steps.
Yes. There we go.
That's right out there. I think my takeaway is really that we're all in the same boat. I think that, there is that community out there, and we're not an island, and we're not the only ones who feel this way. I'm saying we already, but we're not the only ones, and just we don't have to do this alone. There's resources out there that we can go to. There's obviously this website, this app, Aviana, and women out there that we can talk to about this, and not to think that we have to deal with these types of things alone, and not to think that we're crazy. That's my
yes. Well, maybe a little bit, but yes.
Yeah. Just like the regular size of crazy.
Just the normal.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, this has been a fantastic show. Mary, again, thank you so much for being here with us. And again, reminding our listeners, you can check us out at leadlikeagirllab.com, where I'm going to showcase our new merch that I just got in the mail, my Lead Like a Girl glass. Cheers, Jamie. Look at that. You can find us on all the social media. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you want to see Strong Coach Mary's bright, shiny face, check out our YouTube on this. And please and if you like this, if you have other women that need to hear about this, share this episode, because I feel like I'm with Jessica. This is one of the best. This is absolutely one of the best. So Thank you all, ladies, for this awesome conversation, and keep leading like a girl. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you. Bye.